Hey everyone, welcome back to Cuddy's Bookshelf. So this video is going to be my February wrap up. I read a lot more than I thought I did in February. I think it was because of Polathon. But because I've been slumping the last couple of weeks, I didn't think that I read as much as I did. But then I've gone around my library and picked out the books that I did read, and there's quite a stack. So let me get on with it. So the first book that I read was Circus of Wonders, and this was about a girl who got sold by her father to the circus. She has these natural leopard prints on her skin, and there's a romance, it's heartbreaking, it's adventurous. The circus setting is what drew me in. It was very page-turny. I really enjoyed this. So yeah, it was a good start to the month. So Circus of Wonders was the first book. The second book was Sea of Strangers by Lang Leave. This is a poetry book. I really enjoyed this. It had a lot of poetry in it that I could relate to, which is obviously always the best kind because it hits you in the feels. Yeah, so second book. Third book was The Winter Garden by Alexandra Bell. I loved this. This was so whimsical, so warm and inviting. To say that it's set in like this, it's a winter garden, but it was so, no, because you're reading about being cold and that lot, it makes it more like cozy, and when you're reading it with like a blanket and a candle and everything, it was just such a nice, easygoing fantasy, and I just loved it. I just really did like it. The next one that I read was Pokemon, gotta catch him. No, I won't. Was Pokemon Volume 1, the Pokemon Adventures Volume 1. This is the collector's edition, so it's like bounded up. There's so many in one. Very nostalgic. I love Pokemon games. I love watching the anime. I love Pokemon. It was my childhood. It's Pokemon. Love it. The next one was The Girl Who Fell Beneath the Sea by Axio. Loved this. This was so, like, such a nice, like, what's the words? I can't articulate the words for it, but it was just so easy to dive in. It was, you wanted to find out more all the time. You wanted to be in the world. You wanted to, it was good. It was good. The next one was Romantic Killer Volume 2. This is about a girl who is into snacks, her cat, and gaming. She gets all those taken away from her because this magical creature wants her to find love. So she gets surrounded by hot guys, and hopefully they're hoping that she finds romance within it. And I love this manga so much. I cannot wait for the third one. I am yet to catch up with the anime because I'm watching the anime as I've said before. But yeah, loving this, loving it. The next book that I read, I loved this. This is the most coziest fantasy I have ever read, and it was very hyped up, and that's why I picked it up, and it is completely worth all the hype in my point of view, which is Legends and Lattes. I adore this book so much. I highly recommend that you pick this up if you haven't yet. It's just the one. It's just the one. I'd give it 6 stars out of 5. I just loved it. Next one that I read was another poetry, which was a bind up of 3, which is the Amanda Lovelace You Are Your Own Fairy Tale trilogy, which is the poems from Break Your Glass Slippers, Shine Your Icy Crown, and Unlock Your Storybook Heart. And it's all been bound into one, and it's got like really nice, not like any of them are showing up, it's got really nice illustrations, I swear. But yeah, very good. Related, hit me in the feels on some, again, very relatable. The next one I think is the next favourite, like one of my favourites of the month. And I think that I'm going to read number 2 next, because I'm in a bit of a slump, and I know number 2 of this book will get me out of that slump, because this, The Thursday Murder Club, wow, I loved this. This is a murder mystery club that is set with OAPs being the main protagonists, and they are trying to find out these murders, and it is so cute and so funny, and I just loved it, and I cannot wait to get into the second one. And my excitement for the second one is why I want to read it now, because I'm in such a slump that I know it's going to bring me out of it. So the next one that I read, pause for emphasis, Dandadan, Volume 1. What in the actual was this? I've got number 2. I'm going to read it. Just because, you know, curiosity. But we had a time with this. So I can't even form words to describe this manga. So we had someone that believes in UFOs and someone that believes in spirits, and they go out to prove each other wrong. And what we have in this is spirits, granny spirits that want to eat the young man's schlong. We have aliens that are very trigger warning for sexual abuse towards the lady. I was reading this and stopped a few times just to try and gather any thoughts that I had to, other than WTF am I reading? But yeah, Dandadan, Volume 1. I would say I was looking forward to Volume 2, but the next book that I read, Wild. I really enjoyed this. I picked this up, I did say in the video that I picked this up because of Gilmore Girls, the Year in the Life. Lorelai goes on a trek, goes to go on a trek because of this book, because she's read this book. So she's like, that's it, I'm going to trek the, what's it called? The trail. The specific crest. Oh god, I did think of it. The Pacific Crest Trail. And Lorelai wanted to go and do it because she was having a dilemma in her life. So, and then there was a big thing with the other girls that was there to do it. Are you there because of the film? Because there's a film that's been brought out because of this. Are you there for the film or the book? And there was divided, blah, 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 blah. So because I watch Gilmore Girls, I love the Gilmore Girls, I picked this up because I wanted to know what Lorelai was on about, basically. So I picked this up, read it. As soon as I read it, I've watched the movie now. Love them both. This was so unexpected. I don't know what I expected from it. I was just expecting someone that was really fit and healthy, like a positive woman that will go out on this trek. But what I got was a woman that has got demons, that hasn't always made the right decisions in life, and went on this trek to find herself, who she truly is. And it was so good, so good. If you do like outdoorsy, adventurous type books, I would recommend that. Also would recommend Into the Wild. I don't know if you've ever read that. Also really good. Anyway, next book. Red Wolf. I really enjoyed this. Not as much as others this month, but it was an easy read. The ending I thought was sweet but unexpected, which I like. And I didn't know what to expect. No, with it being a retelling, I do love retellings, but with it being like a young adult retelling, I wasn't so sure. But I think they did a really good job with this. I really, really liked it. Rachel Vincent, you did a good job. Not letting me to tell you, but I really enjoyed this. Yeah, so the next one was Creepy AF. I loved this book with the gothicness, the creepiness, like the fact that you could have someone in your house and not know, but like random things go missing, like your food and stuff. And I watched, what film was it? It was a horror film, Within. I don't know if where it's like got that person in the yeah. But I watched that, and this reminds me a bit of that, where someone's living within the walls of the house, and it is Girl in the Walls. And I really enjoyed this. I loved that it wasn't scary, because you see it from the point of view of the girl that's in the walls. So it wasn't necessarily as scary as like the film Within, but it still like really freaked me out, as in like I said, like someone in the house and not knowing, like that being a thing, because that freaks me out. But this was so good, so good. I really, really enjoyed it. I highly recommend it. And then the only other book, might as well stick that on the stack. The only other book that I have read, so this is the last one, but I haven't read it all yet, but I have read the majority of it this month, which is The Once and Future Witches. I am loving this. This is 5 stars all the way through. I am currently on chapter 23, but this has me all in my feels, and the witchiness in it, the backstory of all of the witchiness that's in it, and the bond between the 3 sisters is everything. And I am just loving it. It's like really picking up at the minute, and I'm just really enjoying it. I have read this part, I've got this much left. I'm pretty just over halfway, and I plan to read more of it tonight, and I'm just really loving it. My friend, who is also buddy reading it with me from work, which is why I'm reading this a lot slower, she is also really loving it. So I'm glad, because it was a recommendation from me. And yeah, and I'm looking forward to finishing it next month. But yeah, that was all the books. So it was a big stack. I must say, let me pick my favourites. So 100% that. 100% that. I bet you can tell which ones I'm going to pick. I love that. See, I loved all of those. There's a lot that I loved, but there's just... These two are the top 2 books that I read in the month of February. So if you're going to read any, please read these. Please. And then this. So, but yeah, I hope that you enjoyed my little fangirling of all the books that I read in February. I am hoping to read more in March, with it being 1, a longer month, and 2, I'm hoping to get myself out of this reading slump and back into having my nose constantly stuck in a book, because that is where my happy place is. So when I am not doing so well up here, it really affects me, because it affects my ability to enjoy a book, and I don't want being mentally unwell or just not feeling it to like tarnish my experience of each book that I read. So I'm hoping to get myself out of that. I think the Thursday Murder Club, what's the second one called? I have it over here. The Man Who Died is the second one. So I think that's what I'm going to go with next. And then I'll get back into my cart again. But I think I just really need a couple of, maybe 1 or 2 books that will get me out of my slump and want me to dive back in reading different books again. But anyway, yeah, I hope your reading month has been just as productive, or even more so, because, you know, towards the end I wasn't so. And let me know if you've read any of the books that I've mentioned, if any of them are your favourites, if any of them are on your to be read list. And yeah, I hope you are well and stay safe, and I will see you in my next video. Bye. Oh my goodness, getting a thumbnail with these. Oh. 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 Okay. Oh no, I've got to switch hands. Okay, you go under. You go. Oh, oh my god, this is so heavy. Oh, oh, yeah. Duh. Smile. I caught him. I caught him. We're good. We're good. Good God. Lord help me.